This is Justin Scoop on Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. Taking a look at SPX. So today we gapped up. We actually started the day with some selling. Sold down into the 21. It started to bounce, and this was a really strong candle, but then no follow through. So we got really sideways for a while, and ideally you would want to see this kind of consolidation here push back up and start to contend with the open, which was a new all-time high. Instead, we kind of got this that turned into more of an S curve and then curve back down. This started to look like an inverted cup and handle and then didn't actually go down any further. So we actually ended up bouncing at the 20 at the 100 and then came back into that at the close. So we didn't touch that at all yesterday because we were just rampaging higher. So where we actually touched the 100, give you a really nice entry. You could have easily gotten in for $1 or somewhat less, even down to like 0.55 was the lows over in here. This is with the 6,900 call. Uh, we actually made it through that, and you could have exited for, could have gotten in for $1 and exited at 10. The high was actually 12.5. So it was a 10x sort of day with a nice round number. I like having the 00, the 25, the 50, the 75. And here's the 00 working. It actually worked in both directions. So could have easily been buying for $1 that was anywhere in here. It especially worked nicely as it bounced off the 100. Then that rallied. Actually, there's more going on than that. So here's the open, the high. We kind of had some consolidation coming in around that level and started to break out here. Uh, Consolidated more and then broke out. And then here's your S curve and continued to make another new all-time high before we rolled back down. And we rolled back down. You could have been buying this for $1 and just ride that up. And this didn't quite make it to 10, but let's say you got in here for $1 and then you sold at 10. And then you got in here for $1, and let's just say you rode that back up to this previous high. Let's call it 4. Let's say you bought it 1, sold at 4, you bought it 1 over here, sold at 10. That's $9 on the left, $3 on the right. That's a good day. That's a really good day. All with the 00 option, like the nearest one, and just being patient, waiting for it to play out. I mean, you would have had been really patient to just buy this at $1 while it chopped around down here, actually put in a really nice base. While it was doing that on the call, this is where it was basing at the 100. And you had to wait a little while. Like even over here, you could have bought it for like the same price that was this next low over here. And then it's just rampage. It rallied out of that with some strong moves. Got a nice upper wick here. Didn't quite get past the high or the open. And then let's jump over real quick to SPY. So today on SPX was a bear candle, but on SPY was actually a bull candle. And normally these are kind of following each other a bit, but today some different things happen. I thought it'd be worth kind of coming over to here to see. So here's the open, the high, traded lower, very similar, but then this upper wick, a lot more strength came in on SPY for some reason. And so this was looking like, okay, maybe that's going to be exhaustion volume. Maybe we're just going to roll over. And it was actually more so SPY that was setting up, okay, hey, maybe we'll get above this. We did barely here. But this was actually the high, the hesitate, and then the trap. And so this actually played out really nicely to be this kind of consolidation, breaking out and immediately reversing. And so you had the really nice setup to do that. This was more so the setup to sell here uh, going into the close. Um, I was in some of this. No, I was actually in this bullish, got out right before going into a meeting at 2:30 Central Time, and did not. I was watching my phone during the meeting. I'm like, I really just can't take a trade right now. Need to focus on what the meeting was about. But anyway, was not able to play the bear move there at the end of the day, but that was a phenomenal trap. And we zoom back out on this, you can see even after hours, on SPY, it's been going up a bit higher, and so this is kind of what I refer to when I say futures, but I look at it a little differently. I look at the ES, not just SPY, but you can see here it's gone up a bit. Maybe we'll open up with yet another gap up, and on SPY, that would be another bullish retest gap. On SPX, if we gap up, open up, that would actually be a gap and go because it was today was bearish on SPX. So really curious to see how is it going to play out. Are these SPX, SPY going to kind of trade together again? Just having some little bit of different candles here. Um, it's worth looking at, especially when it's a little bit different here. Very similar setups. Obviously, you're trading with different options to be able to do this. Actually, while we're here, let me go look at. So the pricing is a little different. Let's pull up the uh, 687 put on SPX. I'm sorry, SPY. There you go. You can see I love these end of the day moves. This one, so we were quite a bit out of the money, which means the option gets incredibly cheap. And so, I'm talking usually buying something at $1. I'd be talking about buying something at 10 cents, 5 cents when it's really this low, knowing that it has the potential to really move. And then the other benefit is you actually have till 3:15 Central. So let me get that on the chart here. So closing at 3:15. So you want to be out, you know, ideally 3:12, 3:13. I exited something the other day for at 3:14. Really did not like doing that, but I'm working on that muscle. Uh, so these are still trading, a few minutes after the 3 o'clock bell. Now, if we go look at, so you could have bought this at 0.5, doubled it to 0.1, tripled it to 0.15, quadruple up to 0.2, even further. This one ended up getting up to a high of 0.41. So buying at 0.05 and flipping it out at zero point 0.4. Not a guarantee that it's going to get there, but you still have some more time after the close. You can see this stopped trading at the 3:12 candle, so it was no longer trading at 3:15. But this after hours actually made it up to zero point 0.5. Let me show you another one. So if we look at the 688 put, this one was even better. Again, just it was not very far out of the money. I mean, we made this massive rally here, but it's the trap setup. And so we're kind of anticipating, hey, there's enough time. We could either continue to rally, which we did yesterday, or we could rally and then reverse, and we reversed here with the trap. So the setup, and this is what I should have been doing if I wasn't in the meeting, is buy an option that's really inexpensive. So buying this absolute zero, getting in at maybe zero point 0.2. So if you want to get 5 of those contracts, buy at zero point 0.2 and see what it can do in the last, technically the last 45 minutes of the day till 3:15. But this did all of its move during the day before 3 o'clock. So get in at 0.2, flip it out at $1. So you've turned $100 into $600, getting 5 of those, right? $400. Sorry. Wow. Okay. It's getting late. So buying 5 contracts at 0.2, selling at $1, that's a move of 0.8. 0.8 times 5 is $400. After hours, this ended up going up to 1.45 as the high on this candle. So you could have actually made a little bit more, but still just a great setup, great trade. It's possible to get in a little bit lower, but this was moving very quickly. Uh, you made this upper wick, made a new all-time high, inside candle immediately starts to collapse. If you were in on this candle, the high there was 0.22, probably could have been getting in at zero point 0.2. The next candle, it was already moving. The low was 0.22, maybe still could have gotten filled at 0.25 if you had the order there already. And then we rolled back down into the 100 again here, but it's a little bit different. I would say we rolled back down into this consolidation. That was kind of a better place. Uh, like we had on SPX. I'm not going to go back to SPX, but I think this was a similar location that we had here, this consolidation after this big upper wick. So a couple things that look different, big upper wick, setting up more of the trap into the close instead of, or a trap move into the close that actually played out really well. And then we're kind of negating that after hours here because we are, yeah, we're quite a bit up. So we'll see if the strength continues or if we'll roll back down. This is looking a little choppy. Looks like we have some resistance. Maybe this is another trap setup here where there's a high, hesitate, and trap. So that would be here's your high, here's your hesitate, and now we did make a new high. So here's your trap, and we should push back down probably further than that, but we're kind of going lower. Maybe pull back down into here if we do pull back some more. So that's kind of live looking at this approaching midnight Central Time. So we'll see if we get some move back down, if it'll come back into the 100 here, and then see what happens if it bounces there and rallies overnight. Um, there's some news tomorrow with I think a Fed rate decision, so we'll see if the premium stays baked in. It probably will till whatever time that is. Actually, I'm not sure what time. I'm assuming it's 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's normally when these things happen, but I think it's also happened at noon Central. I gotta find out for sure, obviously, because you want to make sure you're either out of trades or trading it appropriately with the right amount of risk and able to be available and be able to exit appropriately before the event happens. So hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.